Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah. Today's a very happy day for me, along with the peonies and the very rare photograph of the Buddha at Bodh Gaya, and along with the halo around the sun, and along with the exuberant growth. I mean, everything's double its size because its thirst for the rain after 60 years has been satisfied. And we should grow the same way. So I've never done this before, but I, Kwong-roshi, when he gave talks, he came out like a boxer. And he just threw punches. There was an illogical framework, but that's how he talked. And in a way, maybe I do the same thing. It's not going to be logical. But so I start out with suchness, okay? And maybe over the years I gave you the wrong information. But I thought suchness was another way of saying emptiness. But in a way, it is. I wasn't that far off. Because when you use the word emptiness, it sounds kind of negative, but suchness gives it something that's nothing. Okay? So I started with suchness, but actually what it means is a jinyu, meaning tatata, meaning reality. So it's my translation was not that far off. Emptiness, same thing. Emptiness, the ness or shunyata, the ta means undivided, empty cognizance. It's not space. Undivided, empty cognizance, full of awareness. Okay, so that's emptiness. And tatata, it means reality, just as it is. And actually, in one of Dogen's writings, it says, we are looking, we are seeing reality as it is. It's right in front of you. While you doubt it, you're projecting, you're thinking about something else. It's right in front of us. But we have to know, or we have to have the training to untrain ourselves in what we've been taught. So that we can see. The seeing, it's not just seeing, it's realizing what is in front of us and who we are. So, yeah, this is exciting for me. Tatatagata. Tata means coming and going. But originally, nothing comes and goes. But it's suchness that comes and goes. And this is suchness, tatata, reality. Gone in suchness, appearing, coming in suchness. And so it's about reality and it's about ourselves. These are two very important things. And so somewhere in the teaching, like in the Heart Sutra, it says form is emptiness, emptiness is form. I thought it was about subject and object, but it's not. It's about self. Your self is empty of self-existence. Yourself, whether you believe it or not. It's good that you believe it and train in it. Therefore, you will not harm yourself, nor will you harm other people. Even people on the path can still harm themselves and harm other people. It's written in the Lankavatara Sutra. So form in the Heart Sutra, the Heart Sutra is not, it's not about this heart in the chest, it's about mind. And mind is the universe, it's everything. The chest heart is more emotional. We have to transcend, we have to go beyond our emotion. Not that we cannot cry and we cannot laugh, we cannot experience joy, but we're not attached to it. That's the difference. Okay? All right. So form is emptiness, meaning that this self has no self-existence, meaning self-existence, the ego self is that I exist and I am separate, independent, uh, individualistic from everything else. I am I. I am the center of the universe. So this is the form, right? But this form is not that. So it's emptiness, the ness. And then, of course, this self-existence also says emptiness is form. It means the form is in the dharmas, in things, the things we think we own. I like that. There's no self-existence in the things we think we own. And so I don't think the Heart Sutra says this, but it infers that finally emptiness will be emptiness and form will be form. It will be what is as it is. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. It's still dualistic. Okay, so I have an arrow pointing to suffering. Now, the practice and training in Dharma is not just to end suffering. That's maybe, well, that's some of it, but it goes deeper, and we have to realize that. And suffering is based on our self-existence, our attachment to who we think we are. That's self-existence. It's attachments, it's condition, it's conventional, it's tradition. But originally, dharmas have no I, me, or mine. In fact, in Buddha Dharma teachings, they don't even mention self because it doesn't exist anyway. So this suffering, the suffering is greed, anger, and ignorance. And so it doesn't mean we can't get cancer. It doesn't mean we can't get sick. It doesn't mean we won't die, but we'll die without fear. That's pretty good because we are not attached to cancer. We're not attached to being sick. That's the difference. It's a big difference because the difference is we suffer. Okay? And also, demons cannot harm you because you have no self. Isn't it great? The demons can't harm you. Demons can twist your mind, make you think different things, make you fantasize. But because you have no self. For instance, I mean, this is just not idea, but I've met people that were not harmed. Mahakosananda, who later became the primate of Cambodia, used to visit us often. And he's a Theravadan monk. But I swear he was a Bodhisattva monk. And he is, because the Lankavatara Sutra points it out. They don't point out the different paths, the differences in the paths, but they point out the differences in the lineage. So Mahakosananda was a Bodhisattva. And it means that the Theravada tradition can not only end suffering, greed, anger, and ignorance, but they can go into the omnipresent. And also, not only can they, but you can also slide back. So to be attached to our blissfulness, our self blissfulness is not enough. You have to let go of the self blissfulness, like in the Mahayana or the Bodhisattva vow, until everyone else has been freed. So back to Mahagusananda. He came here one time with a Cambodian army officer, and he and a group of his soldiers were in a firing squad. And what the officer told me is that he chanted the Heart Sutra, and he was not shot. Everybody else was shot. This is the truth. And things like this happen. Where was he? Could they see him? Was he there? Interesting, huh? Interesting thought. Everyone else died. He chanted the Heart Sutra. This is an experience of no self. And since we studied the Lankavatara Sutra, I think this is the second phase of the introduction of Asian religion or spirituality, in that enlightenment is not, we went through this is the post-enlightenment stage of the Dharma. The first was the enlightenment stage, because they emphasized it so much. It was like the carrot, going after the carrot. They emphasized it too much, but in the Lankavatara Sutra, they mention it not as enlightenment. The only realization nor enlightenment realization nor actualization. They mention it. They just mention it as Buddha's personal knowledge. That puts it in the right place. Just because you attain one realization doesn't mean you just entered the stream. You're not finished. You're still alive. It goes, nothing ends. You still continue training. So Buddha's Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi is specifically Buddha's knowledge. Anuttara means highest. Anuttara. Samyak means complete. Sambodhi means enlightenment of the self, complete enlightenment of the self. That's the Buddha knowledge. Buddha knowledge in Sanskrit is Arya. Arya means sacred or holy, and Jnana means wisdom, sacred wisdom. So, because we have no self. This is just the idea, but you must directly experience it yourself. It would be something like this. In this Zendo, just in Kinhin, 1 year, we've been here 50 years. 1 year in the early days, we were doing Kinhin on this side of the, I was on this side of the Zendo. And the Zendo it ended right where the pillar was then. And as we did Kinhin, I felt so happy. This was an experience beyond myself. I felt so happy. I felt joyous. And in the second part, the joy is very important, that I wanted to share it with someone else. Not just your own happiness, but others people's happiness. That was forgetting the self. And in fact, forgetting, letting go, those are old words because you're doing it. But what is you not doing? It's non-doing. It's non-arising. These are, it's non-thinking. It's non-action. This is how it happens. And this takes a lot of training. You can't think into it. You have to personally experience it. It's even more difficult than making a good apple pie. It's difficult, but that's the work. That's the training, non-doing. Because we've been trained the opposite. So we're always full. We're not empty to receive everything. You have to experience it. So there are different theories and about suffering, and we could just go to dependent origination. This is how it begins with our ignorance. I like this. It's the Dharma law. It's the law, not human law. It's the universe's law. It's called dependent origination. And all things are subject to karma, cause and effect. Okay, here's the wind. The wind is what Yasutani Roshi said. The wind is the vertical and the horizontal. When they meet, there is this. When there is this, that means this subject, who you are, there is that objective world. When this appears, when your ego appears, that objective world is separated from you, that appears. When there is not this, there is not that. That is not separated from you. When there is no longer that, there is no longer this. That is practice and training of zazen. The separation is gone. The dualistic opposition is gone. It's non-dual. Within the dualism, there's non-dual. Otherwise, it could not happen. Within you, there's no self. Within the self, there's no self. Within light, there's darkness. Within darkness, there's light. It's not finished just being dualistic. One contains the other. And then I have down, then there is this and that, but they are same. This and that, we are the same. We come from the same mother. Then the varieties of differences, we are not overwhelmed because we have the same mother. And we appreciate the variety of differences. What time is this supposed to end? 1 o'clock? Huh? 1? Oh, so maybe I have to continue this again. But there's only 5 minutes left. So Vashubanzus, you've heard why I'm happy, because I put a lot of effort into Vashubanzus Trubisky, his 30 verses on the teaching of mere manifestation. But I didn't know about this book, the Langvatara Sutra, and he explains this, that it's actually Yushin, meaning mind only. Mind ends because we do not do anything in Zazen. This is the whole secret. At the end of the God show, your thinking mind is stopped. You should know that. You should be aware of that because actually has stopped during the day many, many times, but you're not aware of it because you're moving too quickly. You're attached to what you're doing. And that gradually builds and it becomes, we can see mere manifestation, things just as they are because we are no longer projecting. Everything you see is a projection of the mind. That's the theme of the Lankavatara Sutra. So it's not just a big undertaking, but it is an essential undertaking, whether you're practicing or not, to live and die in this life, satisfied, not dissatisfied. And well, believe it or not, it takes training. It takes you to appear not on Zoom, but here in person. This is the post COVID era, and this is what it means. We've gone through impermanence. The whole world went through impermanence. But Buddha said impermanence was 2,588 years ago, but no one paid attention. So this shakeup now is very important. Thich Nhat Hanh says this is the year of spirituality because things have gotten worse and worse and worse. So, okay, thank you.